From all of us here at Keen Investigations, we hope you're having a great day. Non-lethal weapons, also called less lethal weapons, less than lethal weapons, non-deadly weapons, compliance weapons, or pain-inducing weapons, are weapons intended to be less likely to kill a living target than conventional weapons such as knives and firearms. It is often understood that unforeseen or accidental casualties are likely whenever force is applied. But non-lethal weapons try to minimize these risks as much as possible. The development of these weapons started back in the early 1800s, when London's new police force began patrolling the streets in September of 1829. They were armed with a baton, also called a truncheon. These were made of hard wood, 2 to 4 centimeters in diameter and 30 to 65 centimeters long. Swords, although not standard issue to police officers in the 19th century, were also kept in most police armories for possible use during riots or large demonstrations. Social turmoil in America between 1840 and 1870 brought increased use of force by the police. The New York City Police and other departments were armed with 33-inch clubs, which officers were not reluctant to use in those days. International policing from 1860 to 1959 witnessed only one major addition to the small array of non-lethal police tools: chemical weapons. CN gas was synthesized in 1869 and was the first tear gas, producing a burning sensation in the throat, eyes, and nose. CN became available for use in aerosol cans in 1965, with chemical mace the most well-known variety. By 1912, there was an increased use of chemical weapons for riot situations and subduing criminals. CS gas was first synthesized in 1928 as a white powder, which stored well. It was adopted by many police forces because it had a greater effect than CN gas, causing a very strong burning sensation in the eyes and often caused them to close involuntarily. Severe pain in the nose, throat, chest, vomiting, and nausea are also associated with its use. After the turn of the century, the baton remained a staple tool among American police. As late as 1900, when the Chicago Police Department numbered 3,225 officers, the only tools given to the new patrolmen were a brief speech from a high-ranking officer, a hickory stick, a whistle, and a key to the call boxes. Around this time, a chemical wand was also developed, giving off a steady stream of CS or CR gas. These first appeared in 1962 and were said to be 6 times more potent than CS gas and 20 times more potent than CN gas. It caused extreme eye pressure and occasional hysteria. CS gas cartridges fired from shotguns were used in the United States and Great Britain as early as 1968. In 1967, alternatives to lethal lead bullets were first attempted in Hong Kong. Wooden rounds fired from a signal pistol were designed to be ricocheted off the ground, striking the victim in the legs. Unfortunately, the wood rounds proved to be fatal and direct fire broke legs. Rubber bullets were developed and issued to British troops and police officers in 1967, only a few months after the wooden rounds first appeared. Intended to deliver a force equivalent to a hard punch, the rubber bullets caused severe bruising and shock. Also intended to be ricocheted off the ground, the rubber bullets were designed so that riot police could outrange stone throwers. British riot police also employed water cannons designed to fire large jets of water at demonstrators on the streets of Derry in 1968, and later in Northern Ireland. Resembling armored fire engines, water cannons were also used in Germany, France, Belgium, and the United States. Non-toxic blue dye was added to the water for marking the offenders. The firing of a CR solution was considered, but was never used. In 1968, another unique riot-oriented weapon was unveiled in America, the sound curdler. Consisting of amplified speakers that could produce loud, shrieking noises at irregular intervals. Attached to vehicles or helicopters, the device was first used at college campus disturbances. Another unique non-lethal weapon emerged in the 1970s, a gun that shot beanbags rather than bullets. The apparatus resembled a large billy club with spiral grooves in the barrel. It fired a pellet-loaded bag that unfurled into a spinning pancake, capable of knocking down a 200-pound person. Although it had potentially lethal capabilities, it quickly became popular in several countries, including South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and Malaysia. Several other inventions were added to the non-lethal arsenal of the police in the 1970s. The photic driver produced a strobe effect, its light causing dizziness, fainting, and nausea. A British firm developed a strobe gun, which operated at 5 flickers per second. Some of these devices also had a high-pitched screamer device attached. Another apparatus known as the squawk box had 2 high-energy ultrasound generators operating at slightly different frequencies, which produced sounds that often cause nausea and disorientation. Another invention of the early 1970s was the injector dart guns, adapted from veterinarians' tranquilizer guns, which when fired injected the drug that had been loaded into the darts. Other developments included an electrified water jet, a baton that carried a 6,000-volt shock, shotgun shells filled with plastic pellets, plastic bubbles that immobilized rioters, a chemical that created slippery street surfaces for combating rioters, and an instant cocoon, which was an adhesive substance that when sprayed over crowds made people stick together. A significant change occurred with the police baton in 1972. This new baton had a handle about 6 inches from its grip's end, which allowed, according to the manufacturers, its versatility to be virtually unlimited. The side-handle baton did indeed become popular and remains popular among police officers today. 2 new tools were developed in 1974, the plastic bullet and the taser. Research in England resulted in a seemingly softer plastic bullet. Made from hard white PVC, these bullets resembled a blunt candle and can be fired from a variety of riot weapons. However, these plastic bullets could be fatal as well, and a number of people died after being struck in the head. The taser was also invented in the mid-70s. It resembled a flashlight and shot 2 tiny darts into its victims. Attached to the darts were fine wires through which a transformer delivered a 50,000-volt electrical shock, which would knock a person down at a distance of 15 feet. Police officers in every state except for Alaska had used the device by 1985, but its use was not widespread because of its limitations of range and limited effectiveness on persons under the influence of drugs. Heavy clothing could also render it ineffective. Tasers have had many improvements over the years and is one of the most used non-lethal weapons today, but still suffers from a lot of the same problems as the original design. The stun gun, also introduced in the mid-70s, was slightly larger than an electric razor and delivered a 50,000-volt shock when its 2 electrodes were pressed against the body. Like the taser, its amperage was so small that it did not provide a lethal electrical jolt. It caused its targets to fall to the ground, unable to control physical movement for several minutes. During the 1980s, flashlights were marketed that had stun capacity or contained chemical agents. Also marketed was an expandable baton, from 6 to 16 inches and was deployed with the flick of a wrist. A 6-inch steel whip, which when opened to its 13-inch length, projected 3 steel coils and was transformed into something resembling the medieval cat of 9 tails. Less than lethal weapons are still being actively developed by most countries around the world. A few of the newest products on the market are the ML-12 less lethal launcher. It is a 2-shot pistol that shoots most types of less than lethal ammunition: beanbags, pepper rounds, rubber balls, and flares. Developed by Bruiser Less Lethal International, it has been purchased by over 100 small, rural police departments, who prefer it to the taser because of its lower cost. Another one is called the Alternative, developed by a California company called Alternative Ballistics. It is essentially an orange metal attachment that an officer can quickly clip onto the barrel of his handgun before firing a shot. The clip-on catches the bullet like an airbag, making it fly about 1/5 as fast. One downside might be is that it is a one-shot deal. After that one less than lethal shot is fired, if another alternative is not clipped on the weapon, a bullet will fire the next time the trigger is pulled. Last but not least is the Thunder Generator. Still in the testing phase, it was originally developed by Israel farmers to scare away crop-eating birds. In good condition, the Thunder Generator can hurl a series of super short shock waves up to 100 meters away. In general, these shock waves serve to only knock down or stun individuals. Any closer than 10 meters, however, and the waves can result in permanent damage or death. Only time will tell where less than lethal technology goes next. What crime-fighting tools would you like to see the evolution of? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to incapacitate that like button and share the video with friends. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button. We upload this series every week and it also really helps the channel. If you enjoyed the video, consider visiting us on Patreon or making a one-time donation on PayPal Me. Keen Investigation is trying to upgrade to the Adobe platform. The video and audio programs we are using now are very hard to work with. We really don't like asking, but YouTube is very hard when you first start, and we are not making a penny on these videos, but enjoy making them very much. If you would like to help us improve the quality, even $1 would really help, and is greatly appreciated. The link for the Patreon page and the PayPal is listed below. Thank you for all your support. We look forward to seeing you all in the comments, and as always, have a great day.